Hello people. I made a silly mistake. I forgot to press record and managed to get some things working here. It didn't take too long, but this is gonna be either a addendum to the past video or a small slight new video with where I run through how I set the solution up. So let me just start explaining the problem. The problem was more or less the sound here was nicely done with the repetitive audio script, but as soon as they jumped, or well, mostly as soon as they jumped, the sound would suddenly stop. What I wanted to do was see how far away the player is now and then based on that make the sound stop. So I thought about just measuring the distance to the player for each audio source here, but that's a bit odd. But because we had this random repetitive audio script, am I opening this? Yes, we will see some changes here. I simply added a trigger to every croak for source. This box collider here, and in my trigger setup, all I do when the player enters, I disable the random repetitive audio scripts, and when the player exits, I re-enable the random repetitive audio scripts. It happens over here and over here, and that results in something nice. I think it results in something nice because when this gets disabled, obviously the coroutine stops running, but if this coroutine has already fired off a play command, that voice will just simply keep playing. So the voices won't suddenly stop, at least the last play command will be finished. What I also did is to move the pause here to the front of the coroutine. So as soon as this script, the random repetitive audio, is enabled here when the player leaves, the first thing we get is that little pause between 2 and 10 seconds before the voice starts again. The result is then that at any moment when the player enters this zone, the voice could stop if it's mid repetition or not. And I implemented it. I did actually not yet try this out before I discovered that I wasn't recording. So let's try this out together. Okay, let's go. So there's no frogs now. That's also because we haven't generated an on trigger enter. So let's do that. We're now in the trigger area. Why is nothing happening? Here's a looping croak that should be running. Yes, it's running. Let's see. So there's two of them right now over here. Let's see what happens. I'll just select them both. Oh, I can do that. And then moving closer. This should mean that random repetitive audio here has stopped working, which it did. Why do I still hear things? This is weird. This seems a bit odd. I thought that random repetitive audio, if I disable this, that coroutines would stop playing. But maybe they don't. So let's see. Maybe this is just a matter of random repetitive audio. Void on disable. Oh. Stop all coroutines. This could be it. Maybe the stop all coroutines only works when the whole game object gets disabled. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna select all these, lock it, and then we will, yes, when we're allowed to, keep an eye on the enabled state of this random repetitive audio script. We move away, we enter the area. A croak should start playing as soon as a frog spawns. There it is. I don't hear it yet. Oh, I hear something. Yes, this is because of the pause. And then if we move into the region, yes. The script here is disabled, and I believe I also heard the sound disappear. Okay. No, there's a slight problem because these things don't get re-enabled. Right, that doesn't work, obviously. What happens is the game object gets disabled because of, well, reasons. And when it gets re-enabled, this random repetitive audio script here doesn't get re-enabled. See, it's still off on these. That's a problem. I thought I had a nice, elegant solution, but I don't. I could... Yeah, if I'm doing it like this, I'm forcing a re-enable of the script. But let me think. If I get close, they stop the scripts. If I then leave like this here, I have left the whole area, so all the croaking stops. I enter the presence area, the croaking starts, and this one is enabled again. This one starts out disabled. Let me see. Yeah, I could hacky fix that. Don't know if it's smart. Let me think. What I could also do, because right now I'm doing this with an easy trigger script. I could also, because I want to disable and enable this script, I could add a somewhat specialized script here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a simple hacky attempt at a script on enable disable events, because that should actually fix it. It's a bit hacky, but come on, we really need to get it fixed and working, because I've been working on these frogs much too long now. Let's see. I'm just making a script. I've used these before. It's a very simple setup that just allows you to define in the editor what should happen when the object gets enabled and disabled. So using a Unity engine dot events, and then have a public on enable events. Sorry, public Unity event on enable event, and let's have an on disable event, and then just run void on enable. We can even do that like this, on enable events dot invoke, and on disable events invoke. Okay, now I have to set this up. It's hack as heck, but let's do this just to prevent some other trouble happening. Yeah, sad thing is that I have to set this up 5 times. You know what? I'm gonna remove these 5 again. I'm gonna set it up once. So as soon as this object gets enabled, I want random repetitive audio to be enabled as well. On disable event, I can leave blank. This, so I'm only using this to prevent the rare case that the closeness of the player to the thing will disable this script, and then the player suddenly moves out of the region in an instant, and this trigger disables this before this can be disabled by the player leaving this trigger here. I hope that's a bit clear, but it should work. I should now again make 5 of these, I think. So here, placement is not really too important, but nice to have a bit of variety. Then give them back to this object. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again. All bugs hunted. I hope. All behavior fixed. We pick up the player. We move into the presence area. we start hearing one single looping croak. Yes. And a second one. Very nice. Then we move into their region. Oh, and they stop. They start jumping, which isn't what I meant. This is a nice case to see what happens here. Because here, this looping croak figure here has had its random repetitive audio script disabled. And it itself is also disabled. The whole object is disabled. So the problem is this won't register the exit event that re-enables this. So the fix I did now should mean that if I move the player away, let's do that in an instant. And let me see, that's looping croak 01. When this gets re-enabled by the present system, the random repetitive audio script should also be re-enabled. So we move closer, we trigger the present system, and there we go. It's active again, it's over here, and if all is well, they all have an enabled repetitive audio script running now. Let's try that again. Bug out. So thanks to them jumping, they have been disabled. They all had their random repetitive audio scripts disabled by me being present. And I move away. Oh, sorry, I'm not correctly checking this, because I had the inspector locked to a single instance. Seems to me that they all have their audio script thing here disabled while being themselves disabled. So let's lock this multi-selection and move the player back into the presence area. Yes. And as soon as they're all coming alive, yes. Takes a while. I actually think it takes a while because I have another bug here, because there are some way too many frogs being spawned right now. Oh, let me unlock this. This is enabled and enabled, this is enabled and enabled, this is enabled and enabled, this is disabled and enabled, this is disabled and disabled. But if it ever spawns in or enables itself, let me see. This one, as soon as this one is getting re-enabled, which should take another few seconds. There we go, got enabled, got the random repetitive audio playing. And I guess that what happens here is because of what I did here. I shouldn't really do that, should I? But yeah, that's a bug, a nasty one. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with how the system works in regular behavior, so to say. Yeah, I think something odd is going on there. How many frogs do we have now? Just the 2 cloned frogs, 3. Well, this is the original, so this will not ever be spawned in. If we move closer, we should get more frogs, 2 extra frogs there. The splash effects have been destroyed. Why do those frogs stay present? Well, peoples, it seems there's still some issues to iron out here. I'm not sure if I should do that on video, because this is the boring bit of development, I guess. Messing with your systems until you see behavior going wrong, and then preventing that behavior from being wrong by adding all kinds of sanity checks and maybe keeping track of how many frogs there are in a different way than what I'm doing now, kind of like with an actual spawning system, for example. But for the effect that we want to have, I think we're there. Because if we're over here, slowly but surely frogs start spawning and you hear them. And it's because the croaking system here checks with the frogs manager how many voices it should sound. You stop hearing them if you move away. You hear them again when you re-enter, and when you come closer, like over here, they start unjumping and the voices are silent. And you move away again, and after a few seconds the voices start again. And that's what I wanted. I'm actually running 10 frog clones right now. Excuse me. And I'm wondering, yeah, there's the problem. Extra frog clones get spawned in. So I should really fix this, but I won't do that on camera because this is already a strange episode where I try to explain something I did off camera, then discovered problems on camera and fixed them, and now I'm discovering more problems on camera. You know what? I'll see what I can do and I'll get back to you. I think it's just a simple mistake I made. I don't know if it's this video or the last one, but what I did, you know how I disable the frog once they're done jumping, and to prevent the manager from tracking thinking frogs that have jumped are still active, I removed them from the manager here, which means the frog manager doesn't track the frog anymore because it removes them from the hash set, which means that if I only disable this object here, it won't ever get destroyed because the frog manager is responsible of destroying the frogs. So if I do this, I have a choice to make. I can either kill off the frog here, but what I can also do is tell the frog manager to destroy frog.game object and hope to dear God that this doesn't get called before we try to return from here, from the function call over here. Let's see what that does. Oh, right. I disabled the croaking because I wanted to check only on the frog system. So, there we go. There are the frogs. I think we're actually meant to hear some sound now. Maybe because I disabled this, it won't work. See, and now the frogs just get destroyed once they enter the water. Okay, and that leads to another problem. I guess I have a few minutes to add to this little video here. Because what happens now, jumping frog removes itself from the manager list. The manager list destroys the frog object, but the jumping frog object has the destroy on destroy here. That calls on the spawn splash. And the spawn splash gets destroyed immediately, and the sound is cut off and the particles won't show up anymore. Is there something like a delayed destroy timed destruction here from start by event call? This is what we're going to use. We won't destroy the spawn splash. What we're going to do is spawn splash dot add components. What was that called again? Something with destruction, timed destruction dot delay is, let's see, let's just do 5 seconds. Again, I'm taking the hacky way out here. Let me make we won't make a note here. Well, hack we call this a hack, but it should fix my problems. Croaking, start back up, please. I get you. I move you closer. Frog, go splash. Go splash, frog. Yes. And there it goes. Did you see? The splash effect was there for 5 seconds. And then it disappeared. So let's wait out here for a bit. Let's re-trigger the presence area to see if we can get a sound. Don't think we can. Oh, we have sound. Excellent. And then let's spawn in the frogs again. 3 frogs. Let's make them splash. And move away. I think this splash effect is still there because one of these frogs, let's see, it actually just dove into the water. Over here. Or maybe the other frog did. And they just haven't had a chance to destroy themselves, yeah? So let's give that a chance by re-entering the area. Yes, see, and now this destroys itself. The frogs that were jumping are gone. There's a few still sitting here, which I can remove by being an obnoxious cube. And everything cleans itself up nicely now. What happens if I stay away for a while? Enter. I think we have a thing now. Right. Very nice. Just waiting for the croaks to start again. So there's croak numero uno. I don't hear it, but it's activated, so there should at least be one frog there. Second one is joining them. We move closer. We have visual contact and they have stopped croaking. We get to annoy them by jumping and they remove themselves from the pool. And the splash effects disappear after 5 seconds. Okay, to turn this quickly into less of a hack here, we're gonna give this a value. Destroy splash after. So let's see. Public float destroy splash after is like 5. And because we now have a named parameter that indicates that after this many seconds it will destroy the splash, I call this an X hack, because now it should be obvious in the editor and to anyone using this frog script that the splash effect will get destroyed after so many seconds. Okay, that was it. Just a quick fix, and I hope I didn't bore you with this one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.